All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, thank you. I'm Becca, and I'm a second-year physical therapy student here at the University of Evansville. And I would like to welcome the faculty, staff, family, and friends, and fellow students to the University of Evansville as we celebrate the Doctor of Physical Therapy program's 6th annual White Coat Ceremony. We're very excited to continue this tradition in the honor of the DPT students here at UE. On behalf of our faculty, staff, and students who have planned this event, I would like to thank you for your donations and support that have made this event possible. Thank you for being here today as we recognize the professionalism and dedication of the DPT students of UE. This ceremony signifies the transition of these students into the professional program. The white coat they will be receiving is a symbol of healing, a symbol of help, and most importantly, a symbol of hope. It is a symbol of their commitment to their future patients and a symbol of compassion and excellence they will strive for when treating their future patients. Although many of you will choose not to wear your white coats, allow it to remain a symbol of your achievements and a constant reminder of your dedication to this profession and its core values of accountability, altruism, compassion and caring, excellence, integrity, professional duty, and social responsibility. In addition, the white coat represents the progress of physical therapy as a profession. In Vision 2020, the American Physical Therapy Association states that physical therapists will earn a doctorate level degree, and in doing so will join the rank with the elite 5% of the American population holding a doctorate degree or a professional level degree. Vision 2020 also states that by the year 2020, the year each of you will graduate, physical therapists will be viewed by all as primary care practitioners treating patients without physician referral. And this ceremony is progress toward that goal. The growth and profession of physical therapy worldwide makes this an exciting time to be entering our profession. My hope is that this ceremony will inspire you and at the same time remind you of your duty as a professional. And I ask you to think about your future as a doctor of physical therapy and the responsibility that comes with it. Now I would like to invite Dr. Kiesel to the podium to introduce the faculty.
Good afternoon. I'm Kyle Kiesel. I am the chair of the physical therapy department as well as the director of the DPT program. Just like to add my welcome and thanks everyone for coming. And just a quick congratulations to the students starting out in their DPT education program. The summer curriculum, as they found out, of course, historically is known as being quite challenging. So congratulations on getting through that. And don't let down because we're going to hit the ground running tomorrow. So. No rest, but great job, and we're looking forward to getting to know all of you. My role here today is to simply introduce our faculty and staff. We have a tremendous faculty and staff in our DPT program. I couldn't be more proud. One of the biggest challenges in physical therapy education today is finding faculty. There are about 500 openings right now. If you have a terminal degree and you're a physical therapist and you're qualified then to be an educator. So it's challenging, and we've just couldn't be happier about the quality of folks that we have. Kind of awkward to start with myself, but I guess I will. I've been here kind of forever now. I'm guess now the senior member, starting my 18th year. I've taught the musculoskeletal content as well as evidence-based practice content. Those are my primary areas. I still practice physical therapy, outpatient physical therapy on a regular basis. And my research area has been in injury prevention and spine and core sort of function. Those are the main areas that I've done work in, and I've expanded the core sort of the research into some breathing research, dysfunctional breathing research that we're doing now. We're starting our third student project with that tomorrow, actually. So we're excited about that. And yeah, I get the opportunity to travel all over the world and interact with researchers and teach education to physical therapists. So When we talk about what's going on in physical therapy, we're not talking about just in the area or just in Indiana or just in the Midwest. We're literally talking about what's going on around the world from a variety of faculty and our international touch. So we feel pretty comfortable that what you're getting is meaningful. Jennifer Simon, all of you have had the honor of meeting Jennifer. She holds things together for us. She's outstanding. She's got a variety of titles, and that really doesn't do it justice. She holds things together for us, does an outstanding job of taking care of each of you once you're in the program, and for all of you as you came through, either undergraduate here or if you were a second degree seeking student, someone that transferred here, you got the pleasure of working with Jennifer. She's absolutely outstanding. She's just in her second year with us. She's been at the university, brings a wealth of institutional knowledge, and just truly is passionate about our program and about each student here. So we are happy to have her. Ziray Chen, Dr. Chen, is now in her fifth year. She is a motor control, balance, and gait specialist. So she got her PhD from the University of Oregon, known as really one of the best gait and balance programs in the country. And Ziray is just outstanding. She teaches a variety of areas, of course, biomechanics and some of our neuro content, and then our multi-systems class is kind of one of her main classes. She has been involved in clinical practice as well as a variety of research projects. She got a student-generated balance and gait research program and study and program going here, which was a great reach out to the community. So she has just done a tremendous job. And you notice her personal interest there. She is a concert pianist and a national champion table tennis player. So it's not just for fun. Dr. Hebner is our new director of clinical education. So Bethany's been with us in the residency program for several years, and now in her third year as full-time faculty, and we're excited that she took over our clinical education. Just a really, really important and challenging job as we send all of you and your two other classes out to all these clinical sites. So we have maybe as many as 300 clinical sites in a variety in 7 or 8 different countries actually that we manage. So Bethany does a super job with that. Just so excited that she's helping there. She has taken on the musculoskeletal content, sort of lead faculty member in that, and done a lot of revisions in that. As well as pathology. So she's just helped a number of areas, so we're very excited to have her with us. She continues to practice outpatient physical therapy, and she is heavily involved in our sports residency program, which many have heard about as well. So thanks for all your work. Janice, I think Janice made it over today. She's our administrative assistant. She comes, she's been here for, I think, 5 or 6 years now, 5 years now. You'll see Janice, you've probably seen her already, see her on a regular basis. Jennifer keeps the program going. Janice keeps the faculty going on a day-to-day basis with small things. And she does a great job. She interacts with students on a regular basis, and she saves me a lot of work, I'll just say that. Ling Yang Lang is here. Dr. Ling is a physical therapist and got her PhD in motor control and neuro rehab. She has a background with sophisticated research methodologies in pediatrics. So she's continued off her dissertation work to do presentations and research over the last few years. Several international presentations that she's done, and continued to create publications in that area. So it's a very sophisticated area of research. It's great for us here to have that level of researcher with us. She continues to do a great job in the classroom as well. She teaches in a variety of areas, really has taken over our motor control content, which is so important across the lifespan, and has just continued to do a great job in the classroom. So very excited for Ling to stay with us. Next, we have a new faculty member here, Jordana Lockwich. Jordana comes from the University of Pittsburgh, where she worked in a hospital rehab setting and was involved in the neuro residency program there. So this is her first full-time faculty job, so very excited to have Jordana with us. Again, has that neuro background in a variety of areas in neuro, and she will take over the neuro rehab class, which is in the spring. So that's a large content and a big responsibility, so we're very excited to have Jordana with us here. She's getting ready to take her neuroclinical specialty exam, which will be coming up later next year. And so we will get her broken into the research and several other things, but for now, just getting her broken in and getting her started as a full-time faculty member. So we're excited she's here. Kyle Matzel is with us. He's in his second year. Kyle is a graduate of UE and also went through our sports residency program, so he stays very heavily involved in that. He teaches a variety of classes in musculoskeletal content, sports, and orthopedics, and he is in his officially his first year, but really essentially his second year as a PhD student through the University of Kentucky. So you see Kyle being very busy teaching, helping with research, helping with the residency program, a variety of data collection projects, and also taking his doctoral classes. So if he's looks a little busy, it's because he is. He has helped us along a line of research that we do in a variety of areas, and has just taken to it very, very, very well. So very excited for him to get that PhD level training. Phil Plisky. Phil is a associate professor, 10-year professor with us here. He's in his 8th year. He is a UE graduate. He is also the Eykamp Center for Teaching Excellence Director, which means all new faculty at the University of Evansville go through his program. So he's a teaching learning expert. So he teaches teachers how to teach, basically, is a quick way to say that. So we're very happy to have Phil with us. He's done a variety of things in professional sports and consulting in the U.S. Military with injury prevention efforts, and has continued to work in outpatient physical therapy, as well as started and continues to direct the sports residency program. What else? About over 20 publications. So obviously Phil's very busy. So thanks for all his work. Kate Schwarzkopf-Pfeiffer. Kate's here. You all voted Kate in to speak to the class today, so we're very excited to hear from Kate. Kate has done an outstanding job through her training. She's on the tail end of her PhD, so she's getting ready to defend her dissertation, so that's coming up. So she has put a tremendous amount of work into that, as a majority of us know up sitting up here. That's a challenge to get through that training. So great job, Kate. Keep it up. Almost got it. Kate teaches musculoskeletal area. She took on the cardiopulmonary content, which is new to her. She's doing a great job with that. And she helps heavily in the scientific inquiry, the research and evidence-based practice classes, as well as community health. She has really gotten going in her research, and her research involves injury prevention and changing risk factors. So a real novel project that she's getting ready to defend. So very excited to see that through. Next is Katie Whetstone. Katie's another new faculty member in her first year with us. Katie is a graduate of the program here as well as the sports residency program. She'll help in a variety of things, including our clinical education piece. She's the assistant director of ClinEd. And I was working on Katie's load. So one of the main things I do is kind of figure out which classes are best for people to teach. And I just wish I could copy and paste Katie and have two of her as I work on my spreadsheet. So there's so many things she can do, and the needs that we have. So we have I've tried to keep her as free as possible, but she's going to be very busy as she takes on this new position. She has an interest in basic sciences, so she's considering advanced doctoral work in anatomy and physiology. So we'll see where that lands. So we're very excited. She's helping with anatomy, and you all got to meet her over the summer. And then Kathy Liu. Many of you met Kathy. Kathy is an athletic trainer and a PhD, has a degree in biomechanics from one of the best biomechanic programs in the country. Very happy to have Kathy help us out. Kathy teaches in the summer for us, teaches the biomechanics class. So you got to meet her there. And then many of you know Kathy if you're a UE student. She is one of the key instructors in a variety of classes, prerequisite classes, to prepare you for the physical therapy education. She's a seasoned researcher, obviously, has a lot of publications and abstracts, and so very excited that Kathy is continuing to help us. And Dr. Rod, Associate Chair of the School of Health Sciences. Dr. Rod has helped us out ever since I've been here, so that's a while. So thanks to Dr. Rod again. You've all met Dr. Rod either in the summer in gross anatomy or same. He is many of your advisors and helps teach a variety of those basic science classes to prepare you for the program, as well as he teaches our medical physiology in the program, which is, that's this fall, I guess you'll have that. So thanks for all your work and help, Dr. Rod. Okay, that's that. Great group here. Again, just very excited to have this faculty here. And we took this opportunity for me to introduce the faculty so you get a little bit of feel of what they do. One of the things that we've been able to execute over the last several years is our research project where students help. And there's no formal really process. We'll sort of put out a call and say, hey, we're doing this research. Do you want to help out? And if you've got a little extra time, you want to help, there's some funds available sometimes to pay you, and sometimes we just get the help. So part of this is to just so you know who we are, and we start asking around to see if you want to help with the research. So if you do, start asking now, ask in the classes ahead of you, and get a sense of the time commitment that's like. But we got a lot of projects going. I'm very excited that you're here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kiesel. Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Schwarzkopf-Pfeiffer to the podium as our faculty speaker.
All right, guys, welcome. My name's Kate, as you saw. I'm an assistant professor in the DPT program, and I teach in the areas of research, musculoskeletal, cardiopulmonary, and community health. It's probably no secret that my favorite of all those classes is the Scientific Inquiry series. That's the research content. In fact, I'm so excited to start these classes that I'm not even going to wait until Monday. I'm going to introduce some research terms and concepts right now. Yay! So for the most part of your academic journey, there has always been clear and correct answers. So for example, who was the 8th president of the United States? Does anybody know? Nobody? Martin Van Buren. Yay! That's a really obscure reference. So here's a really more relevant one for the PT students. What is the insertion of the latissimus dorsi? How dare I bring up gross anatomy? The insertion of the latissimus dorsi muscle, what is it? Bicipital groove. Nice. All right. Good start. All right, so these are very clear, very correct answers, right? It's black and white. That's a dichotomy, as we call that in research. And those are great because there is no in-between. You're either right or you're wrong. You're a cat person or a dog person. You are an IU fan or a Purdue fan. And we can all agree that UK fans are the worst, right? I can say that because I am one, okay? But starting today, you are leaving that world of black and white, and you are entering this wonderful world of gray, which is equal parts amazingly beautiful and incredibly frustrating. The best researchers will never say that they prove anything, but they will say that their research or their results suggest something, which is incredibly vague, but that's the language we use. From now on, and you can verify this with the second and third year students that I saw here, nearly every question that you ask will be answered with the phrase, "It depends." Promise you. From now on, exam questions won't have just one right answer, but lots of right answers. And your job is to determine which answer is the most right, given a set of circumstances. And I know a lot of you are type A personalities like most of us and are panicking, thinking, how are you ever supposed to get an A in a class where the answers are always changing? That's because the right answers keep changing because our patients are people and people are forever changing. I'm sure you've heard several times that no two people are exactly alike. Therefore, our assessments and our interventions can't be exactly alike either. There has to be some gray area. And that's where the best physical therapists live, is in that gray area. So we'll spend the next 3 years teaching you how to build a home in that gray area too. Living in that gray area is difficult, yes, and incredibly frustrating at times. But if you can learn to embrace the ambiguity, the impact on the lives of your patients will be amazingly beautiful. So as I said, I teach in the research classes, so maybe you're wondering if there's some kind of formula for success in this program. Yes, there is. What is it? It depends. So for some of you, it will mean reading and rereading notes and book chapters. For some, it will mean recording and re-listening to lecture content. For some of you, studying in a group and discussing classroom content will be best. And for others, it'll be a combination of all of that. The formula for success can change from class to class and year by year. And that's challenging and it can be really scary. But every good formula has a constant, right? So let that constant be us, your faculty. All of us struggled at one point or another learning to live in that gray area, but I promise you, we are looking for good neighbors. Please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us at any time. We are always here to help you with your formula. We are so excited to break ground with you on your new house in the gray area tomorrow. Good luck and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Schwarzkopf-Pfeiffer. Our next speaker is Kristen Lund. Kristen graduated from UWE's DPT program in May 2017 and received the Outstanding Physical Therapist Award for her graduating class. She's now an outpatient orthopedic physical therapist at Athletico in Bloomington, Indiana. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kristen Lund.
All right, thanks Becca and to the White Coat Ceremony for inviting me to speak today. It's truly an honor to be here because it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting in one of those seats over there about to get my own white coat. So maybe you came to the ceremony today with ideas that you might get some advice on how to be successful and how to work hard in PT school, but that would be a waste of my time because you already have demonstrated that you know how to do those things. You're accepted into this competitive academic program and you've already completed one of the most challenging courses you'll take over the next few years, gross anatomy. So today I want to share some advice that may seem unlikely, but is absolutely vital to making it through the next few years. I want to talk about how to fail and how to rest. So you all are here because you're among the best of the best in your high schools and your undergraduate careers. If you're anything like me, and as Kate alluded to, the people on this stage, very type A, you're used to succeeding and are probably terrified of failing. So now, just 3 months out of PT school, when I look back at the last few years, it's the botched exams and the disastrous practicals that taught me the most, as painful as it might have been at the time, because those experiences showed me just how much I still had to learn and motivated me to keep pushing forward. So as difficult as it can be to fail, remember it's not a nail in the coffin, but it's a stepping stone on the journey to reaching your goal of becoming a physical therapist. J.K. Rowling's manuscript for Harry Potter was famously rejected by 12 major publishing companies before it was ever picked up. Walt Disney was once fired from a newspaper because his editor said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. Steve Jobs' first Mac computer constantly crashed due to the poor design. But none of these people gave up. They didn't let their failures define them or defeat them. So when you inevitably fall short at some point over the next few years, remember that failing doesn't define or defeat you either. It can make you stronger and help you improve as a student and a person. So when you're struggling, ask for help, and remember how you feel right now today. Look around at everybody in this room. Right now you're surrounded by your families, your friends, and your faculty members. Remember those faces when failure gets you down, because every single person is here today because they want you to succeed. As you heard from Dr. Kiesel's introduction, your professors are brilliant therapists, educators, and researchers, nationally and globally renowned. Any hospital, outpatient clinic, or other practice setting would no doubt love to hire them for full-time patient care. But instead, they chose to dedicate their careers to teaching, to helping you become the best possible physical therapist you can be in order to better serve the people who need you. On that journey, you'll inevitably make mistakes, and that's okay. That's why you go to school for at least 6 to 7 years to become a physical therapist, instead of being shipped straight out into clinical practice when you decide what you want to do with your life. So these next 3 years are an amazing time to learn, grow, and challenge yourself in a supportive environment. Know that there will be ups and downs, but when you sit in these same chairs 3 years from now for your hooding and pinning ceremony just before graduation, you'll be more knowledgeable and skilled and ready to be a physical therapist. And even more importantly, you'll be a better and stronger version of yourself. In order to grow, it's important to find a balance between hard work and rest. Any of you with a background in exercise science knows about the concept of progressive overload. If you want to build muscle, for example, you gradually increase weight over time. If you want to train for a marathon, you add mileage slowly, and you take periodic cutback weeks where you decrease the intensity and duration of your workouts. This is described in the new book, Peak Performance, as a simple equation: stress plus rest equals growth. The authors of this book interviewed some of the world's top performers in sports, business, and other fields. And one thing they found that these remarkable people had in common was the ability to strike a balance between times of stress and times of rest in order to grow. Without stress that required them to push themselves outside their comfort zones, they'd never improve, they'd never get better at anything, they would never learn anything new. But with too much stress and not enough rest, they would just end up injured or burned out. The same holds true for PT school. Over the next few years, you'll work harder than you ever thought possible, but it's essential that you allow yourself downtime in order to be at your best. What that looks like for each of you is probably different, but I recommend trying to pick a period of time each week as your designated time off of studying, and spend that time doing things that truly make you feel relaxed and renewed. For me, it was coming home after class on a Friday afternoon, walking my dogs, enjoying nature, maybe cooking a recipe I wouldn't make time for on a weeknight, catching up with friends. As tempted as I was to spend that time zoning out on my phone and scrolling through social media, which I definitely did and still do at times, I realized that habit didn't really make me feel refreshed or renewed, just kind of scattered and dissatisfied. So now as a new grad physical therapist, I realize the risk of burnout's still there due to productivity expectations, documentation, the stress of adjusting to full-time patient care. So I still make it a priority to work hard and rest hard. Every week, I look forward to Saturday mornings when I run trails with my friends in my new town of Bloomington, Indiana, and then go out to brunch. Nothing makes me feel quite so refreshed as time in nature, good conversation, and a healthy dose of carbs and caffeine. No matter what happened at work the week before or how crazy the week ahead looks, those moments make me feel alive and at peace, and that gives me the energy to take on any challenge that comes my way. That being said, early on in PT school, my life looked pretty different. I was so dedicated to doing well academically that I convinced myself I didn't possibly have time to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night or exercise regularly. I love distance running and training for races, but I put that on hold, telling myself I just didn't have time and I needed to spend every waking moment focused on school. So it's perhaps not surprising or unrelated that I spent much of my first year exhausted, sick, and anxious. As I settled into PT school a bit, I started running more, and third year I finally took the plunge that I'd been wanting to for a long time and registered for a marathon. While getting up at 5:30 on a Saturday morning to run 20 miles may sound anything but restful, I was surprised at how much I grew to love those hours spent logging miles, and how the process of training came to mean even more than the result of the race. I tell you this not to encourage you to go running necessarily, because the story isn't about running. It's about committing my time outside of school to something that taught me I'm capable of so much more than I think, and that confidence carried over into PT school. I once thought exercising and getting enough sleep were a waste of the time I spent outside of school, but the longer and farther I ran, I started seeing difficult tasks, like a practical or a final, as a challenge I could rise to rather than something to be afraid of. I was more confident going into exams, and my academic performance improved. In a marathon, there's a point where everything hurts and you just want to stop. The best part about the marathon of PT school is that when you're struggling for motivation, you can know with 100% certainty that what you're doing matters. Second year, we completed a checkoff for limb wrapping for lower extremity amputations. It was only worth 5 points, and one of my study buddies said, "Oh, I think I'm just going to wing this. We've got something bigger coming up later in the week, so I want to focus on that." So that was a tempting approach to take, but I knew myself by that time and knew that I needed a lot of practice, repetition to feel confident in my skills, so I spent a few hours in lab practicing with a classmate. I did fine on the checkoff, sure, but more importantly, let's fast forward to the following summer. I was doing a clinical in inpatient rehab, and on a mat table in front of me was a patient who had had her lower leg amputated 3 days ago. It was just like I'd practiced in lab. My clinical instructor handed me an elastic bandage, asked me if I was comfortable wrapping the patient's residual limb. So I took the bandage and I said yes. Suddenly that checkoff wasn't about earning 5 points for a grade. It was about a woman who was afraid, in pain, and had recently gone through one of the most traumatic experiences in her life. At that moment, I would have been disappointed in myself had I decided to just wing it, because she deserved better than that. All of our patients deserve our best. And for us to be at our best, we need to learn how to put forward a hard effort and then allow ourselves to rest and renew so we're ready to face the next challenge. So as you prepare to start the academic year, know that you have what it takes to work hard and be successful. But also know that it's okay and absolutely essential to make mistakes, learn from them, and to balance times of stress with times of rest. So congratulations on receiving your white coats today. It's a great milestone in your journey to becoming a physical therapist, and I wish you all the best in the years ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Caitlin Baker, a third-year Doctor of Physical Therapy student and ACE Care board member, is going to give a few words on ACE Care and ACErcise.
So, by a show of hands, how many of you have ever needed to receive physical therapy services? Get them up high. Okay, so now imagine that you were unable to receive those services that you needed. So like Becca stated, I'm Caitlin and I'm on the board of an organization that serves the uninsured or underinsured population of the tri-state area called ACE Care. ACE Care, we have a clinic portion that serves more of your ortho-based cases, which you'll be learning next spring, such as shoulder injuries, low back pain, knee, ankle injuries. Then we also have ACErcise, which is our wellness program for participants that have had any type of neurological insult. So, for example, a couple of our participants currently, they've had a stroke, maybe a brain injury, spinal cord injury. A couple of our participants have Parkinson's disease. So you do see a good variety of diagnoses. And so today, instead of just giving you all of the facts about this organization, I just wanted to provide you with my personal experience with this organization and how it has truly changed my experience in the PT program here at UE. So to be completely honest, when I was sitting there 2 years ago, I never expected I would be the one up here talking about an organization that at the time I barely knew anything about. But now it is an organization that I hold so near and dear to my heart. After volunteering with the organization my first year of PT school, I decided to run for a board position. Now, mind you, I've held plenty of leadership positions before, but this time I decided I was going to go out of my comfort zone. You know, I came into PT school thinking, this is the population I'm going to work with. No professor is going to change my mind. So I was like, well, I'll see. I never really had experience with the neurological population. I hadn't really been exposed to it, so I thought, okay, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone, going to try to grow. And I knew that it would be a challenging position, but what I didn't know was how much that position would ultimately change my life. It's hard for me to put into words how much this position and organization means to me and how much it has changed me, not just professionally, but holistically as a person and as a student. There's most of the weeks I go in and I'm stressed, I'm tired, sometimes I don't feel good. But just spending 1 short hour of my busy week with these participants, I walk out of there, no matter the week, and my mood has done a 180 switch. I mean, these participants look so forward to coming and spending that one-on-one time with the students. They have a camaraderie with each other. And it's because of that 1 hour that we're helping their lives get so much better. I've personally been able to see people come in using assistive devices that no longer need them. We're helping them move better because they're getting stronger, their balance is improving, they're not falling as much, and they're happier. And it's just from us volunteering 1 hour a week. And it's in that hour that I'm reminded why I decided to go into physical therapy and why I'm putting up with all of the stress that you're gonna be experiencing for the next 3 years. But to be completely honest, it's just because I love helping people, and you love helping people. That's why you're here. But how many other PT students across the country are getting ready to start their program because they also love helping people? ACE Care is an organization that will set you apart from those students. not everyone has this unique opportunity to take what they're learning in the classroom and directly apply it to patient care before you go out on that first clinical. I mean, your first clinical, you're going to be scared, you're going to feel like you know nothing, but each week, if you're able to volunteer just that short time, utilize what you're using in the classroom, try it out. I mean, it's not for a grade, so you're not going to be penalized if you mess up. That's a great learning experience. I can be completely honest. This experience and this organization helped me feel so much more confident going into my clinicals than other classmates of mine that weren't involved. So, for example, this past summer, I was on my neuro clinical, and I kind of had that aha moment, like, this is what I want to do. Once I get out into the PT profession, I want to work with this population, which is a little bit off track of what I came into PT school thinking. And after my first week, my clinical instructor told me, Caitlin, you're advanced. You are beyond where you're supposed to be at your level of education. And I just said, Leah, I'm going to give credit to where it's due. We have an organization on campus that I help run. I'm on the board for, called ACE Care. And she said that she could tell from that experience that I had had with this organization that it did put me above where she expected a student of my education level. And because of that extra mentoring I got from our faculty that volunteer and the expert clinicians that volunteer their time to give us their advice and to give us pointers that you get outside of the classroom, I was able to go above and beyond for my patients this summer. And I could not be more grateful for this organization. I love it, and I'm going to live up my last semester with it. So I'm going to end by showing you guys a video that a couple of us went to a pro bono conference this past spring break in Philly and presented. So you'll see a couple of our student volunteers, PT volunteers, as well as a couple of the participants, and they're going to be sharing what they think about the organization ACE Care and how it has changed their life.
ACE Care and exercise are really special to me because they both give me an opportunity to take a step back from what I'm doing in the classroom and to enhance my skills that I've learned, as well as have fun and bond with the participants.
It has been a real positive impact on me. It's been nice to come and deal with the students and the other clients. It's just been real positive because it's been something that I can look forward to and a new challenge each week.
I think that it has helped the participants in the community because it has offered a safe, structured environment for participants to exercise in. I think it's bigger than a maintenance plan. I really do, because I've seen participants have grown a lot within the program. I see people moving faster. I see people with better balance. I see people with less restrictive or no assistive devices that came into the program utilizing those. I also think it's important for students to see that it is important that we volunteer within the community. This is part of our professional duty to use our knowledge, to use our skill sets, to promote health and wellness.
At ACE Care, I think it's an awesome asset to the community to provide a free service for something that's so important for so many people but maybe they can't afford. I also love really getting to interact with the students and mentor them and show them things that they maybe don't get every day in class.
I chose to be involved in ACE Care because of the actual passion that the students had for it. They brought this idea to us as faculty, and obviously it's a great idea to help the community in this way. It helps the university, but really it was the excitement and the passion that the students brought to this project and continue to bring to this project that really got me on board.
I think it's important for students to be involved in ACE Care for two primary reasons. One, they start to learn clinical skills and how do you become a physical therapist and what happens when you have to treat patients and actually get engaged and do the paperwork and just their initial introduction to treating patients. But secondly, they're going to get a lot of that later. So secondly, maybe more important, and that's being part of an organization. They are part of a group. They have to work together. It's student run. They elect their own leadership. They have to create their own rules and guidelines, and they're doing something for the greater good, right? They're giving back to those in need, and that's one of the underlying constructs of any university. We want to help give back. So clinical skills is one thing, but I think just that true spirit of giving and service that they gain may be the best.
To me, exercise and ACE Care are a source of inspiration. Many of us volunteered so that we can make a difference in the lives of individuals in our community, but in turn they've made a huge difference in our lives. We come and we see participants who, even though it's been a couple of years since their first onset of symptoms, they're showing an improvement. It's really rewarding to see what our future career holds and how we can make a difference in their lives. So,
all 43 of you tomorrow at 3:30. We're having an informational meeting in Graves 104. If you come, that doesn't mean that you're like selling your soul to us. We just want to provide you. Sorry. Anyway, so we just want to give you all the information about ACE Care and Acercise, answer any questions that you guys may have. So yeah, I hope to see you all there. We're super excited. We need you guys. We as third years are going to be leaving soon, and we don't need you, but our patients need you, because we are changing their lives, and we just want to keep this organization up and running for as long as we can, so forever. So thank you so much for letting me talk to you today.
Thank you, Caitlin. I would now like to welcome Dr. Matzel to the podium for the presentation of the coats, and Dr. Chin will be placing the coats on the students.
All right, good afternoon. My name's Kyle Matzel. It's my honor to present the white coats to our class of 2020. So if the first row of students would like to approach the podium or approach the stage. Kelly Offart. Andrew Branson. Katie Brett Snyder. Megan Brunn. Jacob Burry. Antonia Calderillo. Travis Chapman. Tara Dawson. Madeline Green. Mackenzie Hayes. Tyler Heflin. Jenna Hellebush. Would the second row of students please approach the stage? Ty Henley. Rachel Hendrickson. Caitlin Holman. Tiffany Huffman. Jessica Jacobitis. Jordan Jargsdorf. Shelby Jordan. Megan Luchkowski. Samantha Mackey. Lucas Markowitz. Lucas Matzel. Betsy Murphy. Would the next row of students please approach the stage? Courtney Newsom. Kelsey Owen. Everett Plosick. Taylor Rogers. Julie Saucerman. Sabrina Schnell. Catherine Schreiber. Caroline Shea. Hannah Stavitsky. Matthew Stedham. Madeline Steinke. Liberty Stratton. The next row of students, please approach the stage. Gabrielle Stubblefield. Jessica Tall. Kendall Turner. Daniel Wasowitz. Mary Whalen. Lauren Winley.
Thank you, Dr. Matzel and Dr. Chin and Dr. Lockwich. Now we will have Janae Wagler, a second-year Doctor of Physical Therapy student, read the Code of Ethics.
Physical therapists should respect the inherent dignity and rights of all individuals. Physical therapists should be trustworthy, compassionate in addressing the rights and needs of patients. Physical therapists should be accountable for making sound professional judgments. Physical therapists should demonstrate integrity in their relationships with patients, families, colleagues, students, research participants, other healthcare providers, employers, payers, and the public. Physical therapists should fulfill their legal and professional obligations. Physical therapists should enhance their expertise through their lifelong acquisition and refinement of knowledge, skills, abilities, and professional behaviors. Physical therapists should promote organizational behaviors and business practices that benefit patients and society.
Thank you, Janae. We would like a group photo of the class of 2020 at the conclusion of the ceremony. So if you guys could just hang out by the stage, and then everyone will go down to the stairs. And parents, I know that you love your children, but we ask that you not hang your head over the rail, or all of your heads will be in the group picture. Right outside the door, there's a reception with beverages and snacks for friends, family, faculty, and staff. And there's also UE backgrounds. For professional headshots, we have a photographer here. So one is for professional headshot, and the other is for just personal photos. And students, there's a small gift in the back. It's not really a gift, it was included in your fees, sorry. I thought it was a gift a year ago, but it's not. So please don't forget to get that on your way out. Those are some pretty helpful tools that you'll need this semester. And I just want to thank everyone for attending the 2017 White Coat Ceremony, and for supporting your student during gross anatomy, and for your continued support the next 3 years. Your support and encouragement will mean more to them than you could possibly ever know. I would also like to thank the faculty and staff for attending, including the White Coat Ceremony comprised of Risa Ricard, Janae Wagler, Marie Sandage, and Erin Powell, in addition to Dr. Kiesel, the faculty advisor for the ceremony, and Jennifer Simon in the back, for everyone's help and hard work to make this ceremony another success. So thank you all and have a wonderful evening.